After some technical difficulties, we are back and we are live here. These are the Co-Ed 1 finals in FPF live from Brossard, Quebec. We have the number 2 seed Leg of My Flag facing off against the always dangerous IG team. I'm Eric Dubois in the booth alongside Kwesi Gordon Mall. We are 2 minutes 30 seconds into the first half. Score is still 0-0. Kwesi, what have you seen?
So right now, it seems like Jeff is feeling pretty comfortable on all of his passes. He had 2 passes to Maria. One was incomplete, one was a catch, and then also he had a pass to James that ended up being
a great defensive play by Jeans Liaxi, slapping it out of his hands to save a touchdown.
Exactly.
Here we have scrimmaging from the 7-8 yard line. 4 yards are needed. Quickly complete to Maya DeFazio. Outstretches the ball, makes a man miss, gets down to the 1 yard line and is tackled by Leticia.
So great play there for Jeff. Had Maya right off the snap. She ends up getting some yak yards. A missed tackle from Jean Slee that you don't see often, and then kind of a cleanup from Ivan that making that tackle, bringing the ball to first and goal on the 1 yard line for Leg of My Flag.
First and goal from the 1 yard line. This is where Leg of My Flag loves to normally look at Adam Malinoff, who leads this team with 11 touchdowns. However, not in the lineup today. Let's see where Jeff turns his attention to. Scrimmaging from the 1, stretches his hands, takes a snap, looks towards Paul, runs towards right, throws towards Lara, and that's in and out of her hands. Pass is dropped.
So that's 2 drops for Leg of My Flag. One that went to Maria at the beginning, and then now one to Lara. These are usually 2 female women that actually don't have that many drops. So hopefully it's not a reoccurrence, and they're going to be able to catch them.
2 fantastic players, Maria and Lara, both with a ton of vertical speed, amazing double moves. Usually, having played with Maria, having played against Lara, extraordinarily sure-handed. Hopefully those are their only 2 drops of the game. The good news for Leg of My Flag is 3 more tries from the 1 yard line. Maya snaps the ball to Jeff. Jeff runs to his left, scrambles, looking towards the back of the end zone, towards Drysdale. His foot came down on the line. They signal touchdown. If anyone's listening to me, it looks like his foot came down on the out of bounds line. Let's see if we can get a replay of Drysdale's left foot.
I like to say that I was kind of looking at it while he was coming across the field. Great catch by James. Good read by Jeff, too, attacking the back of the end zone in there.
No challenges forthcoming. As a reminder, in the finals, you can challenge plays. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kwesi. You've done more games than I have so far, but you're allowed 1 challenge. If successful, you then get a second.
Exactly.
We have a touchdown then. James Drysdale putting up 6 on the board. Leg of My Flag going for 1. That's from the 5 yard line. Looking towards the back of the end zone. Paul Lapierre reaches up and hauls it in for 1. 7-0 Leg of My Flag.
Yeah, so great read by Jeff. He had Paul just attack the back of the end zone. Big body, it's kind of hard to make a defense on that play, especially the fact that Jeff put the ball only where Paul could get to it.
That's a target he really likes in the end zone, having played against this team on a few occasions. That big frame at the back of the end zone is a very consistent second or third read for Jeff in the red zone. Now, something to keep your eye on today. Leg of My Flag have 2 sacks on the season. Jeans Liadixi may be the most explosive player in FPF, definitely the hardest quarterback to sack. It looks like Phoebe Gerbert is going to have the impossible task of rushing him. Let's see what she has in store. First down passes aimed towards Constance Miller and is quickly broken up by Sarah Berbiche. That could have been a first play interception for this Leg of My Flag defense.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Sarah Berbiche did a great job shooting the middle. Jean Slee was looking in the middle of the field. He didn't even see her coming in. She was maybe just a split second a little too late, where she was not able to put both her hands on the ball fully.
But a great play to get in Jean Slee's head on the first play of the game. Jean Slee now is taking his time, is assessing. We have Phoebe standing right in front of him, tries to follow up. Pass is complete to Samuel Omombo. James Drysdale flashing behind it. Touchdown, 7-6. And just like that, the IG team strike right back.
So yeah, great ball placement that Jean Slee just did there. I'm curious to see if Phoebe is going to play that game where she's not going to rush Jean Slee as much, just try to contain him. You kind of saw there that she came at him, she literally just stood there. He kind of stood there. They're both kind of look at each other. He decided to roll out to the right. She kind of followed him, but again, that's a lot of time to cover a player, as James was kind of on Gucci, and for so long, you only can go on a receiver you only can defend a receiver for so long.
What makes me nervous there is that Phoebe made the gamble to stand in front of Jeansley and said, I can match your first step pace. The issue is I think Jeansley might have the quickest first step in all of flag football in all of Canada. So that's a really risky gamble to take. We'll see them trying again, and this time Jeansley on the 1-point convert just sailed it over the head of Samuel Mombo, also known as Gucci.
Yeah, so there again, she kind of did the same exact thing. I think Jean just, as you were kind of saying, he put the ball a bit too high. But I don't like that approach. I think Phoebe should just kind of go at him one side, make him become a receiver, make him become a quarterback. If he's going to roll out, let him go left, let him go right, and then have your team adjust to the side that he's going to roll out to.
Interesting to see both teams going for one. I'm a huge fan of going for two, especially when your opponent has already succeeded for one. We now have 7-6 Drysdale and Sanders Armand lined up in the slot. The pass is complete towards Armand, stretching out the ball, tackled quickly by Jordanson Alexis after a gain of 7.
Yeah, so good play call from from Jazz. Just some quick hooks, nothing too crazy, nothing too risky, where he was able to complete that pass to Sanders.
Do you think this IG team defense has the athletes to man up against Drysdale, Armand, DeFazio, and the likes?
To be honest, you're looking around, I think they do. I think they have great defenders on both sides of the field, and I think Jean-Slee...
Looking deep towards Sanders, Armand goes up for it. Another fantastic defensive play, this time by the other Alexis. Jordanson Alexis going up above and swatting it away.
I think, back to kind of saying, I think both the Alexis brothers have great matchups on size towards Sanders, where you have Jordan on him, and then you have speed, where you have Jean-Slee on James.
Two fantastic matchups to watch, some of the very best athletes going at it 1v1. And do not forget about these explosive receivers outside for Lego My Flag. On this season, it is actually Maria Manseri who's the leading receiver for this team. 35 catches, 324 yards, and 8 TDs. She has been Jeff's go-to weapon. We now have 3rd and 2 coming up in early the first half. Rosenblatt receives the snap. Looks to his left, scrambles, caught by Manseri. We have a flag in the backfield. Man-to-man coverage just smells like a holding call on the defense. Illegal contact on the defense. Automatic first down for Lego My Flag.
Yeah, so I believe that's going to be on number 3 to the outside. I believe she just got a bit too handsy.
Laetitia Engalu. A very good defender. I played with her back in the day of Kiss My End Zone. A fantastic defender, very, very instinctive, has a great read on the football, and also does a very good job matching up. Her and Maria are actually friends, played at Saint Laurent together, so this matchup on the outside is one to watch. If those two are manning up, they've played a ton of reps against each other. First down now after that penalty. 1st and 10 for Lego My Flag. Jeff surveys to his left, throws complete to Maya DeFazio, caught, ball outstretched, and tackled quickly by Jordanson Alexis, who seems unhappy with the spot. As a reminder to all those watching today, the ball will be spotted where it is outstretched and not at the hips of the player, a change that came into FPF a few years ago.
Yeah, so there you go. Jeff kind of had chips to the right side. Quick pass to Maya. Quick tackle from Jordan. And we're going to have 2nd down here. 2nd
down and 5. Rosenblatt targeting Manseri, who takes a step backwards, makes Jeans Alexis miss, does not make Yvan Salomon miss. That is a very risky maneuver to take a step backwards to lose your first down with someone like Jeans Alexis bearing in. But her gamble pays off. She made Alexis miss and was ultimately tackled by Salomon, but not after gaining a first down.
Yeah, very risky, but again, she has a really good hip movement where she's not slowing down on her movements and her feet keep going. So as soon as she made that hip, she made Alexis kind of come at her, and she was able to avoid the tackle and get a few more yards.
A few more yards, a first down, setting up 1st and goal inside the red zone, which means you cannot run from the 6-yard line. 7-6, looking to take potentially a 2-possession lead here with a score and a 2-point convert. Rosenblatt sits in the pocket, fires towards the back of the end zone, looking for that jump ball like he threw to Paul Lapierre for the convert in the first drive of the game. Oversailed Sanders. Is there a size mismatch that Lego My Flag can exploit here in the red zone?
I would say you have Sanders and you do have Paul in that case, but you have, in most cases, that means Jordan is going to be on these defenders, and Jordan's a very feisty defender. He's not a guy that you can really box him out. And if you do box him out, it's still going to be difficult because he's going to make sure he's pushing you back and just really just handsy.
It's a very risky player to try to box out as well, because if that pass is underthrown by even a few inches, you're looking at a pick instead of a touchdown.
Exactly.
Second down, 2nd and 6. A bunch set here with Arma and Lara to Rosenblatt. So right, he looks towards his left, front of the end zone. Touchdown, James Drysdale. Flag on the play. Holding on the defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown is good. Drysdale's 2nd score of the game puts Lego My Flag up by another 6.
Yeah, so again, that's a great route from James. I think Jean Slee kind of just stood there. I'm not sure what the coverage was, but James just kind of did it. I believe he just did a quick out, and Jean Slee was like stuck in sand at that point. I also think he also held him too, which was kind of weird that James was able to kind of get off of the hold and also make a play.
From what I saw, Jeansley was expecting a double move so often in the red zone, especially if a player like Drysdale would be running in and out or even in, out, in. And simply because he beat him on the first cut, he exploded towards the cone. And now we have Lego My Flag going for 2 to make this a 9-point game. Maya DeFazio dropping as a second QB. Thrown towards the front of the end zone. Broken up by Yvan Solomon. A fantastic play to keep this game a 1-score affair. 13-6 Lego My Flag. IG team take back possession of the football.
Yeah, so it was a great play from Ivan. Was able to just react just in time to take away that first pylon and make a play.
Yvan Solomon, known more as a rusher, as a quarterback. His skills as a ball hawk perhaps are not his best known asset. That being said, he has 3 INTs on the season. It's going to be an interesting matchup to see how he can translate that speed into coverage in this final. Now, first down for the IG team, scrimmaging from the 10-yard line. Constance Miller snaps the ball to Jeans Lerixi, who looks quickly towards his left, caught by Gucci Amumbo, tackled immediately by Paul Lapierre, a gain of 8 yards on the play.
Again, good approach for Jean C there. He just did everyone hooks, took the easy, wide open Gucci, and quickly tackled by Paul.
Jeans Lee is at his best when he's completing passes quickly with rhythm. Sometimes he's so invested in scrambling that he'll take away those first reads which are there. We now have Amumbo coming back as a second quarterback. Passes flip to him. He takes off running, makes a first man miss, makes a second, but is tackled by Lara after a gain of 5 on the play, first down.
Yeah, so I actually like that kind of different versatility where you're making Lego My Flag kind of guess to a point where when it comes down to certain situations, they're gonna have to talk a lot, and it might end up being a blown coverage where IG team can take advantage on that 2 quarterback situation.
And what you have to remember from the last play is Phoebe Gervais followed Gucci Amumbo and left Jeansley Alexis completely open. That throwback to Alexis later in the game could be open. Now we have Alexis completing quickly towards Constance Miller, tackled immediately by Paul Lapierre, short gain on the play.
Yeah, there you go. To be honest with you right now, I like what Jean Slee is doing. He's taking what the defense is giving to him, and he's completing passes. I think, as you're kind of saying, when you're a quarterback in certain situations, you just want to make sure you get completions. It doesn't really matter if it's like for 3 or 4 yards. You just want to keep the yard. You want to keep the chain moving in this sense where you want to feel comfortable in the quarterback position.
Second down now. Alexis outstretches his hands, takes the snap from Constance Miller, looks towards his right, scrambles towards his right. Phoebe Gervais waiting in front of him. He has all the time in the world, throwing towards the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Constance Miller. It is 13-12. IG team are down by 1.
Yeah, so Lego My Flag is definitely going to have to switch it up. Phoebe's not going to be able to rush Jean Slee the way she does. If she's just going to just stand there and let him just move left and right. Again, we were kind of what I was saying before. It is so hard to keep on a receiver for at least 10. At that point, I think that he was there for about 10 seconds. To kind of hold the defender for 10 seconds is quite impossible for most cases. That's why Constance was wide open in the middle of the end zone.
Jeansley just has a bit too much time, and this is no slight on Phoebe. She's a fantastic rusher, improving rapidly, a former track star, and you see that she has the speed. It's just that one-step burst of Alexis, which is so explosive. Now, standing in front of Phoebe again is Jeans Alexis. He's backing up this time. He's scrambling towards his right. He's throwing towards the front of the end zone, in and out of the hands of Yvan Solomon. Lego My Flag maintain a 1-point lead.
Yeah, again, so Same kind of situation. Phoebe was sitting in front of him. I do like that she's doing that, but my biggest issue is that as you're kind of saying, that first step that Jean Slee takes, it's an advantage for him, and then Phoebe's kind of trailing where the pass that Jean Slee's going to do is it's more comfortable. Again, Yvonne, that was a drop. That should have been a complete pass. We should have had a tie game right now.
And I'd say Yvonne should play with gloves, but some players rather that skin-to-ball feeling. 13-12, a narrow lead for Lego My Flag as they scrimmage from their 10-yard line. Rosenblatt looks towards his left, completes towards Manseri, does not make Yvan Salomon miss, who, by the way, is playing with gloves. My bad, he's gloveless when he plays quarterback. Short gain on the play.
So that was a very dangerous pass from Jeff in that situation there. If Yvan was kind of looking at Jeff and more into the coverage, I think he could have came right under that and had a pick six.
In a similar way, we saw Sarah Berbiche attack one early pass from Jean Alexis. Yvan Salomon had the same opportunity there. Instead, we have second down. Rosenblatt surveys to his right. He looks deep over the middle of the field, complete to Drysdale, who tries to make a man miss, tackled by Salomon.
So we actually have a switch right now. We had Jean Slee, Alexi on James, and now you have Jordanson on James. So and you have Alexi on Paul, which in some cases, I guess Paul and Sanders are taking turns switching on offense. But it's kind of a weird switch. I would have thought that Jean Slee would have took James, and you give Jordanson, which is more of a bigger body and height.
I agree.
On Paul.
An interesting change in matchup. Not sure when I see to the advantage of the IG team, but this is a savvy team who is known for their defensive prowess. We now have, I was going to say trips, no. We have Paul Lapierre and Jeff consulting in the huddle before lining up in a 2-2 set with two receivers to each side. Rosenblatt looks deep, comes back towards Paul Lapierre, tackled and given himself up. Here, what we see Lego My Flag smartly doing is trying to waste time with 1:45 left in the half.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think Jeff kind of realizes that there's too much time to give the ball back to IGT if they score right now. So might as well race some clock, get some easy completions, 3-4 yards, and bring the time down as possible.
My question for you after this will be, how much time do you want to leave IG team? With how explosive this offense is, I know the answer is not very much. I'll get to you in a second, Kwesi. Right now we have second and goal from the 8-yard line just outside the red zone. Complete towards Drysdale, who outstretches the ball. Time continues to run. We're ticking down from 1:10.
I would like to leave them maybe under 30 seconds. I think under 30 seconds would give them maybe 3 plays. It would give...
we have a timeout here on the field by the IG team trying to preserve some time.
Yeah, so great timeout from IG team. At the end of the day, you just need one timeout for onside kick if you decide to end up going to that approach. But I would like to give IG team under 30 seconds, so nothing more than that. With 30 seconds is about 3 plays, 4 plays at max, depending how you're playing it, and you kind of could be able to run a proper prevent defense compared to when there's a minute left, the offensive playbook is kind of open.
So here we have third down, 3rd and 2 from the 3-yard line. Interesting to see how confident Jeff is. Does he go for end zone? Does he try to burn more clock? He's looking towards Paul Lapierre. Touchdown! Paul Lapierre reaching out over the head of Yvan Salomon. Big, strong, safe hands. That looked very easy, but lots of time left on the clock. 56 seconds.
So again, Paul is a huge body. Yvan kind of gave him the leverage of backing up a bit. In that situation, I think Yvan is going to have to hold his ground right in front of the end zone and let either Paul run him over or go behind him.
And I can tell you from experience, Paul will run you over, so be careful, Yvan. But the coverage itself is not horrible. He is just a yard too deep into the end zone. In order to defend that pass, you practically need to be between the quarterback and the goal line.
Yeah, well, you want to make sure you're in front of him, not behind him, right? So
we have a 7-point lead now for Lego My Flag, trying to make it 8 for a 1-point conversion attempt. Paul Lapierre dragging across the front of the goal line, and the 1-point convert is good, making it look easy. And is it fair to say that Rosenblatt is at this point picking on Yvan Salomon in coverage?
It's to a point. I think he's kind of just more looking at his biggest target, which is Paul. At the end of the day, Paul's a huge body. He has great hands. He understands where to go in certain zones. So I think Jeff and Paul also have really good communication now, and they kind of both understand, as Paul being a quarterback, where the open zone is. And Jeff is definitely, at that point, going to be looking at his biggest target.
His biggest target, the most reliable hands on the team. 56 seconds left. Phoebe again lining up at rusher. Ginsley Alexis takes the snap.
So James is actually going to rush this one.
Interesting. We have a quick pass towards number 22 for IG team. That is Samora Fantasako. Tackled by Sarah Berbiche. Time is running. IG team do not seem overly stressed.
So the only thing that scares me here, if you have James rushing, that means you have the middle of the field kind of open, depending who's going to start going underneath.
And here we have a quick pass towards his brother Jordanson. And I completely agree with you, Kwesi. I think Sanders Armand Gucciamambo is a fantastic matchup. That's a 50-50 ball. That being said, Jordanson unequivocally has the speed matchup on Paul Lapierre, something the IG team could look to exploit. 37 seconds on the clock. First down. Play is whistled in. Alexis takes the snap. He's looking deep. He's scrambling. He's taking off, running. He makes a first player miss, makes a second miss. He is tackled inbound. Time will continue to run. 25 seconds on the clock. They're now hurrying up. Get ready for a play in a few seconds.
So if John C. kind of looked 1 second up the field, he would have had Chloe at the back of the end zone wide open for a touchdown.
But he did not. Instead, we have a second down, launch towards the back of the end zone, and that is in and out of the hands of Chloe Corbeil.
Yeah, so right there, he kind of realized that Chloe had a free release. She didn't really look back at him, and then when the ball was thrown, it was kind of last second where she kind of turned around. And unfortunately for her, she was able to get one hand on the ball, but it wasn't enough.
And I'd love to see, well, that's a catch that I think she would like to have back. If you can lead your receiver towards the inside of the field there instead of towards the sideline, simply with the way you're running and the way you're turning, it makes that catch much easier instead of needing to contort your body. We now have 12.6 seconds left. This looks like, I would say, 3 plays. Ginsley Alexis takes the snap, takes his time, complete towards Samuel Omombo. Tackle is made. Time is stopped. That was a first down. Time should have stopped upon the first down, and time will recommence on the whistle. We now have our head official going towards the scorekeeper, who will be readjusting the time. I believe there should be 9 seconds on the clock waiting for official word. Time will run on the whistle, in my opinion, 2 plays.
Yeah, about. I think there's a bit less than 9, but I think it's more like 7. Put it at 5.
So at this 5 seconds on the clock, this is a really tricky place to be in. Time in theory should run on the whistle. Time is running. This will be our final play of the first half. An enormous play coming up. Ginsley Alexis looks towards his left, throws towards the back of the end zone. Touchdown. Flag on the play. We see Gucciamambo on the floor. We're waiting for the call from our officials.
So like my flag was definitely not ready. We also have a pass interference. I believe that was on Sanders to Gucci. I think he kind of pushed him a bit. But like my flag was not ready. I think they were kind of trying to decide who's going to be rushing here, who's doing what, and by the time they noticed, the ball was snapped.
That being said, this is something new in Ginsley's arsenal. I haven't seen him play quarterback in some time now. He was staring down the left pylon, and that was a no-look pass to the back of the end zone. The confidence you need to have to throw a no-look over the middle of the field as the final play of the first half is tremendous, and it worked to perfection.
Yeah, huge points here for I believe they're going for a 2-point convert to tie the game right now.
They're going to tie the game, and remember that they get the ball back in the second half. I would look here for Gucciamambo to drop as a second quarterback, which he does, coming behind Ginsley Alexis. The ball is thrown to Omombo, who now can run, who can throw. We have Phoebe Gerbet, who's rushing Sam Omombo, who takes off running towards the cone. A fantastic tackle by Maya Di Fazio.
Yeah, it was a great tackle. I think Gucci should have. He was trying to lead Maya towards more going inside before making his cut. I think he should have tried to do maybe one more step and then made his cut again. But that was a great tackle by Maya.
A fantastic tackle, a player with a ton of experience. And you see there, she is actually off balance and still reaching back to her left to make the tackle. An interesting rules question, since I like them. Samuel Omombo was wearing here a beanie or a cap. His cap fell off. There's leagues where if you lose something as simple as a baseball cap, you then become down by touch. It's not the way officiated in FPF, I do believe, but just an interesting caveat and the differences between flag rules in different flag leagues.
That's weird. I would say anything that's kind of like from your waist down. I know sometimes people lose like their their playbooks and stuff.
And then you become down by touch. But now we have 20-18 at the half. We will be going down to field level in just a few seconds. We have the talented Nicolas Pierre Massé standing by with James Drysdale.
Yeah, so right now we have Nick coming down to James Drysdale.
James, tu es un receveur de l'équipe canadienne de flag football. Tu joues aussi en Division 1 ici, masculine à FPF. Tu joues en 5 contre 5 compétitif. Tu es un habitué de FPF, puis tu es pour certains un des meilleurs receveurs de cette ligue. Aujourd'hui, tu le prouves en match de championnat Co-Ed 1. 2 touchés dans la première demi. Ton corps arrière est le propriétaire de la ligue, Jeff Rosenblatt. Parle-moi un peu de ta connexion avec lui, là, qui te trouve 2 fois comme ça dans le match de championnat.
Jeff, ça fait vraiment plusieurs années que je joue avec lui. Jeff, c'est littéralement la raison. C'est lui qui m'a apporté dans la plus haute division à FPF. Fun fact. Fait que pour vrai, Jeff, à toute fois qu'on joue ensemble, c'est naturel pour nous. Vu qu'on a joué since day one ensemble.
Dans cette division très compétitive du Co-Ed 1 cette saison, là, vous avez fini deuxième avec un record de 8-2. L'équipe contre qui vous jouez, eux, ils ont joué en bas de 500. Là. Ils ont un record de 4-6. Par contre, ils ont des éléments très, très bons. Jean-Jean, qui lui aussi a fait partie de l'équipe Canada l'an dernier, son frère et des joueuses féminines aussi très dominantes comme Constance. Malgré que cette équipe a une fiche de 4 victoires, 6 défaites, est-ce que c'est une équipe que vous avez sous-estimée dans ce championnat?
Jamais. Honnêtement, Jean-Jean, l'effort à lui s'est vraiment amélioré depuis la dernière saison. Il a vraiment pris carrière et juste le flag en football en général en priorité. Son playbook s'est tellement évolué. Alors, même les 2 fois qu'on a joué contre eux à travers la saison, c'était des match-ups très difficiles. On a gagné par 3 points, je crois, les 2 fois. Alors, Jean-Jean, je le sous-estime jamais. Il trouve toujours moyen de show up.
James, qu'est-ce que vous devez faire, là, la chose principale, pour conserver cette avance dans la deuxième demi et remporter ce championnat?
C'est sûr que c'est vraiment difficile d'arrêter Jean-Jean. Si on a réussi à avoir un stop, c'est sûr que ça peut vraiment changer la game, mais l'important pour l'instant, c'est de continuer à scorer, puis surtout les convertis. Dans mon expérience, pour faire dans les plus hautes divisions, les convertis, c'est ça que ça fait la game qu'on peut voir présentement. Alors, on focus à continuer de scorer puis les convertis.
Merci James, bonne deuxième demi.
Merci.
Back to you guys.
And we're back here in the booth. So coming up in the second half, I think this game will come down to 2 factors. The first of which is the rushing from Lego My Flag. They've made the switch to Drysdale at rusher. And the second, because in all honesty, I don't see either one of these teams getting a stop on defense, is converts. And I was wondering, Kwesi, we've seen IG teams struggle all season on converts. I believe they've just scored on converts 11 times all season. That's 1 convert a game. What do you think they need to change in order to start converting on these 1 or 2 point attempts?
To be honest with you, I think they're fine with their quarterback option. I think to a point, if they do have an advantage with Jean-Slee and Gucci both dropping back as quarterbacks. I think if whoever James ends up going on to, we kind of saw it where James stayed on Jean-Slee. Gucci kind of had all day to throw to a certain point until he ended up getting rushed by Phoebe. I think if all he has to do there is take a bit more time to either try to complete a throw or, again, set up an issue where you're running towards the left side and then cutting back to the right side. And I think he should be able to get outside with his speed.
I agree, but I think this is a team which should have more success going for 2, yet unfortunately has not been able to convert on that all season. Let's see if they can make an adjustment at the very end of their season. Second half underway. Lego My Flag down by 2 but with the ball. Jeans Alexis with that ball in his hands, taking his time. Complete over the middle towards the strong hands of Constance Miller. We had Lara Uzoka screaming in, inches away from the pick. Instead, comes up with just a tackle.
So, yeah, that was a very dangerous pass by Jean-Slee. And, again, he wasn't under pressure. He tried to fit one in there to Constance, which he did. But if Lara was just a second faster, that would have been intercepted.
The exact same start we saw to the first half, funny enough. We saw Sarah Berbish nearly pick off the first pass of the game. We saw Lara nearly pick off the first pass of the second half. A risky pattern here. Let's see if Alexis can recover from what was a very dangerous throw on second down, needing 4 for a first. 3 receivers to his left, takes off running towards his right. He's tackled by Phoebe, but not after gaining the first down. Nonetheless, I think that has to be a win for Gervais, who is able to, believe it or not, catch up to the speedy Jeans Alexis.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Phoebe. Because to be honest with you, if she doesn't get that tackle there, Jean-Slee is very shifty, and he avoids a lot of tackles. So you never know. That could have been either a extra 10, 15 yards. That could have been a touchdown. So she did a great job getting the tackle over there.
He's so dangerous in the open field. He's got a spin move, a dip move he's working on, an extraordinarily elusive player. Perhaps at his best as a receiver, but also one of the best quarterbacks in FPF. We now have the IG team taking their time, relaxing in the huddle. They feel like they're in control of this game, and they are trying to take their first lead of the night. They are 24 yards away from the end zone and a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Alexis is now taking off towards his right, firing towards Amumbo, up and over the outstretched hands of Drysdale. Touchdown, Gucci! 4-point lead for the IG team.
So again, great route from Gucci, great pass from Jean Sleep, but I don't feel Jean Sleep was pressured when making that throw. Phoebe again kind of stopped towards him. Jean Sleep was able to look right, look left, and then when the corner finally opened up, he put it over the top. James Drysdale was playing just a bit too close to my liking. I feel like if he was able to get just a bit further back, he could have made at least a bat on the ball, and we wouldn't have had an IG touchdown.
I completely agree, and I think a big reason behind that touchdown is the fact that Jean Alexis was able to sit in the pocket with his feet set. He wasn't throwing off platform. He wasn't throwing on the run, and because he was on platform, he was then able to make a gorgeous pass towards the back of the end zone. We now have Gucci Amumbo with Phoebe Gervais bearing down on him for a 2-point convert attempt, trying to take trying to score 2 and take a 6-point lead. Jean Alexis is running, throwing, completing, looking for Laetitia at the front of the end zone, or is that rather Samora? It is picked off by Paul Lapierre. Convert is no good.
So again, I do not like that play as much. I feel like Gucci had the sideline to the outside. Paul was kind of lurking at the back of the end zone. I think Gucci should have took off when he had the chance. I believe he probably would have got in from his speed.
It feels like the IG team is taking a simple play, a 2-point convert. There's some go-to plays for 2 points in this league, and making it more complicated than it needs to be. I'd like to see them make a first read, run comebacks to the cones, see if that first read is open, and if not, then take off running, then improvise, but make a first read before making that decision to run. We have a first down pass looking towards Lara Uzoka. It is up and off her feet, incomplete. Another perhaps risky throw. We had Christavie Juel, I believe, bearing in, wishing she could have made that pick.
Yeah, you also had Evan coming down in that short as well. He was just kind of there. He delayed. He took a step back and then came down. Risky pass.
That being said, we do have the IG team with their first lead of the game, up for 15 left in the second half, and we are coming to you live here in the booth, Alexis Dubois and Kwesi Gordon Mall, with the Co-Ed 1 finals from Brossard, Quebec. 2nd and 10 now. Rosenblatt takes the snap from Maya. He looks towards his left. He throws deep towards Drysdale. This is a dangerous pass. Jean Alexis bearing in, falls incomplete. That was close to disaster.
That was a great coverage from the IG team. I thought the back of the end zone out was going to be in. I was going to be uncovered, but IG team adjusted well. That halfback ended up backing up a bit. And then the last choice that Jeff had was a deep bomb to James, where he did overthrow it. But great. I feel like that was a great defensive call from the IG team.
Great defensive call, and honestly, perhaps a great overthrow. If that ball is a foot or two shorter, Jean Alexis has a play on the ball for a game-changing interception. Instead of a pick, we have 3rd and 10, 3rd down to fight another day. In FPF, a 3rd and 10 is a very manageable situation. I would not call this 3rd and long. 3rd and manageable is much more appropriate. DeFazio resetting with the ball, snaps towards Jeff, who's looking towards Paul Lapierre, comes back towards Lapierre. Jean Alexis tried to show off of a one-handed interception. Should have got 2 on it, did not. 4th down.
So they're calling pass interference on Jordan Alexis here.
Interesting. I did not see that from where I was looking. Also, a very interesting route ran by Paul Lapierre, and in and out at the sticks, but it was fantastically defended. With the penalty, however, we do have a 1st down for Lego My Flag.
Yeah, they're calling it on James Drysdale on Jordan, where he was kind of I think James was trying to do it in, back out, and Jordan was kind of in his face and not really letting him run a route.
This is what's harder in the finals, in the playoffs. There's 3 refs. There's way more eyes on the defensive backfield. You can see those holes in grass, which most time you get it off with. 1st and 10, throwing across his body to a wide open Paul Lapierre. Tackle made just about immediately. A gain of 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 coming up.
I'm really liking IG's defense here. They're playing a 1-3 or a 3-5 most of the time, where you have Jean Slee roaming to a point of that middle of the spot. Since Jeff is kind of leveling to one side, he's kind of getting screwed over and leveling to the side where they're playing. So it's like he's trying to level to 3-on-2, but it's becoming 3-on-3, and he has to look backside to make a pass.
And throwing across your body is a very risky proposition against such talented defenders. We have second down here coming up towards Maria Manseri. Laetitia bearing down, no room and no completed pass. Once again, third down. Has this IG team defense taken a step up from the first half?
Yeah, I think they're making great calls right here. I think that was more of a man-to-man. I feel like Jeff wanted James on a quick out. Jean Slee attacked it right away. And then his second was Maria, which, again, that ball was in there as easier, and it made a difficult throw where it ended up going out of bounds.
Exactly as you said. Third down now coming up. 3rd and 4. Rosenblatt surveys to his left. Throws, and it's intercepted by Jordanson. Running it back. Touchdown, IG team. 10-point lead.
Yeah. So Jordanson read that the whole way. Again, Jeff wanted to level one side of the field, and IG team played exactly that way. You had Jordanson underneath. You had, I believe, number 3 underneath, and then you had Jean Slee over top. So when you're able to go underneath and you know you have help over top, you feel comfortable jumping pretty much anything underneath.
And that's one area of Jeff's game. He's got gorgeous ball placement, but on occasion, his reads underneath are pickable. Undercutting those short routes, which he adores, is where you can attack a quarterback like Jeff, who wants to dissect the field. That is exactly what Jordanson Alexis did there with a game-changing interception. We now have the IG team double and triple dipping into the cookie jar. They scored at the end of the first half. They scored to start the second half. They now have a pick 6 and a chance here to go for 1 and put up an 11-point lead. That being said, converts will be huge because this game and this 2-possession lead can still be caught up on by converts for Lego My Flag. Alexis going for 1, throws to absolutely no one. He was looking for Samora Fantasako at the back of the end zone, who was not there. Do Lego My Flag need to stop, or do they simply need to keep on hitting 2-point converts?
Lego My Flag needs to score a touchdown. We're going into the second half where they haven't, I believe they haven't scored yet. They've had scored 20 in the first half. I think, to be honest with you, instead of thinking about defense to stop or convert, they need to think about scoring. They need to think about scoring a touchdown. Something
they haven't done now since the second to last drive of the first half. In desperate need of a touchdown, and James Drysdale is not on the field. We have Sanders Armand and Paul Lapierre as the 2 receivers. We have a deep ball here towards Maria Manseri, overthrown by Rosenblatt. She had a step on Laetitia. Is that an overthrow?
That's definitely an overthrow. It's also to a point she did have a huge step. Jeff kind of just overthrew it, kind of thinking, if my receiver doesn't catch the ball, I don't want anyone else to catch the ball. But in that point, you kind of have to put it just a bit shorter, and she would have came right underneath it.
Manseri, again, is the leading receiver on this team, nearly 400 yards on the season. And there she had a step. Rosenblatt has got to trust his defender if he wants to come back in this game. 2nd and 10. Now looking towards his right. Complete towards DeFazio, outstretching the ball. Gain of 5 yards on the play. 3rd and manageable coming up after the tackle by Jean Slee Alexis.
So again, IG team kind of played the opposite side there, where they had 2 on the right side and 1 on the left side, where I believe they're playing a 1-3 and a 3-1. They're kind of just leveling one side of the field and coming down. So fortunately for Lego My Flag, they went to the right side this time.
And they're playing a bit more of a conservative defense. They're trying to now milk some time off the clock. They're saying, Lego My Flag, if you're going to score, it's not going to be quickly. Hoping to slow this game down just a little. 3rd down now. Rosenblatt looks towards his right. Back towards DeFazio, who's been there constantly on those slants. She picks up the 1st down.
Yeah, great play by Jeff again. Throwing the ball to Maya. She's wide open on that sideline. Able to get a couple more yards from stretching. And we have, I believe, a 1st down. Yeah.
1st down exactly. At this point of the game, it looks like the IG team defense has simply stopped covering those slant routes from DeFazio. She will be open all day long. She's a talented receiver, has a great ability after the catch, a lot of length to outstretch the ball for extra yards, but at a certain point, they will need a chunk play. We have Rosenbach, who's now looking towards the back of the field. A flag on the play. Lara was targeted. drop the ball. We have a penalty on the defense. Yvan Solomon on the ground in despair. Illegal contact, automatic first down.
Yeah, so he's kind of complaining that Paul kind of ran to him. As a defender, you're trying to hold your
ground.
your ground, and Paul just kind of ran into it, and he got the call.
But I believe the call may have been also perhaps on Jordan Senesi, who had feisty coverage on James Drysdale. Either way, it's a first down, and we now have Rosenblatt looking towards the back of the end zone, looking towards Paul Lapierre. That ball was overthrown. Has the moment gotten to Rosenblatt?
I think I think Jeff is a bit frustrated here. Again, if you think about it, Lego My Flag hasn't scored, and I will say the last
15 minutes.
Yeah, around. It's been a while, right? Since IG Team scored at the end of the at the end of the first half. So I think Jeff's just trying to get some points on the board. Kind of how you just saw that he overthrew Paul, where if you put it in that right spot that he usually does, that's a touchdown pass.
He's had 2 touchdown passes on this drive, one to Manseri, which was overthrown, a second to Lapierre, also overthrown. That being said, still alive and still time. Now targeting Drysdale. The ball's up in the air, picked off by Yvan Solomon, and that may be the nail in Lego My Flag's coffin.
So again there, he forced the ball inside to James. There was 3 defenders in that area. That's something you don't really want to do. And Jean Slee didn't even move in that situation. He kind of just stood there, and James tried to come underneath him. Again, I think Jeff is very frustrated. He's trying to put points on the board. He's looking at his number receiver the whole way through. And unfortunately for Lego My Flag, they ended up being tipped and picked off by Yvan.
I'd be intrigued to see that. I missed it on the first replay. Was that ball deflected by Jean Slee, or is that up and off the hands of Drysdale?
I think it was both of them together. I think it was around the same time. I think they both had their hands on it.
Drysdale, normally extraordinarily sure-handed receiver. Jean Slee now have a 10-point lead, looking to put a nail into the coffin. That ball's caught by Jordanson. Paul Lapierre bearing down, throws the flag towards Jordanson. And the crowd is not happy. Lapierre letting his frustration be known.
Yeah, again, I don't think anything wrong with that. I mean, it's frustrating on both sides to the point. I think Paul's just a bit frustrated. The fact that his team is down, he kind of just threw the ball. He kind of just threw his flag in there. It's not like he threw it on the floor, threw it across for him. He just threw it in the air towards him. I think it's fine.
Paul Lapierre doing as Paul Lapierre does and playing at the very edge of the rules. No flag on the play. A 6-yard pickup for the IG team, who's looking now to take a convincing 2-possession lead in this game. Alexis has the ball, surveying, looking deep, throwing towards Amumbo, and it's just past his fingertips. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, so we do have a switch of a rush. James is now rushing Jean Slee, so he doesn't have the opportunity to kind of step in his throw and or underthrow a ball where he's able to put it more in a better spot for Gucci. So he's kind of rushed there. He kind of saw Sanders playing more of a man-to-man coverage, so he gave Gucci a shot to try to make a play.
If there's a matchup I'd be intrigued in seeing more of in this game, it is Gucci Amumbo on Sanders Armand. 2 very similarly profiled receivers, fast, who have a great ability to go up and get a ball. But now IG team need to capitalize on this interception. 3rd down. Drysdale bearing down, misses the tackle. We have jumping called before the first down is gained. We are going to go back 5 yards, setting up a 4th and 6. Mo Khan calling jumping on the play.
So, again, Lego My Flag in a straight man-to-man. Paul did get beat on a hook and go from his twin brother, Jordanson. But unfortunately for Jean Slee is that James was coming at him so fast, he wasn't able to kind of stay in that pocket and throw the ball. He kind of just made one move and decided to run, and he's very fortunate that James missed that tackle there, because that right now it is a 4th and 6, but we could have been looking at about a 4th and 9.
A pivotal 4th down coming up. 3 minutes 30 in the game. A first down here just about spells disaster for Lego My Flag. Trips to Jean Alexis right, one receiver to the left. He's looking towards that trip side of the field. Complete towards Gucci Amumbo. Catches the ball, spins out of bounds, and the championship is again 6 yards closer to this IG team.
Yeah, again, straight man-to-man. Gucci acted like he was going to do a release go, ended up breaking out at around 2 yards before the first down, caught the ball, was able to get out of bounds as well too, and got themselves a first down.
This has been a game of matchups, and IG team has been winning across the board. Gucci has been winning on Sanders. Jeansley has been winning on the rusher. And simply put, that's why you see a 10-possession lead. We have first down now. IG team have control of the ball and control of the clock, simply needing to avoid mistakes. Jeansley is taking his time in the backfield. We have man-to-man coverage across the field. A tackle made ultimately by Sanders Armand, but not after the first down was gained. That, for me, is a really dangerous proposition, to run man coverage against Jeansley and then have a prevent rush is just about a recipe to have him run on you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, so I don't like that as well either. I think James should just kind of rush and going the full way, trying to make Jeansley force something underneath, something over top, just get him to throw a bad ball, compared to when Phoebe kind of was rushing at him, and you kind of realize that James was playing over the top. You end up taking Constance in that man, which, to be honest with you, I feel like James is more someone that should be underneath. I think Lara should take Constance, and James could take like maybe Jordanson.
We now have first down. Pass is complete quickly across towards, I believe that is Noémie Olma. Time continues to tick. No. Pro clock is whistled, stopping the clock, 1:50. Now, here is the issue for Lego My Flag. Yes, there is the onside kick. But by going for the onside kick, you forgo the opportunity to attempt a convert. So the common saying in FPF is that 15 points is a 2-possession game. A touchdown here by the IG team makes it a spread of 16 and means that this Lego My Flag team will need a score, a 2-point convert, a stop, a score, and another 2-point convert, something which simply cannot be achieved in 1:50 seconds. Thereby, the only path to success for Lego My Flag in this game is stopping the IG team on this very drive. A touchdown would just about seal the fate of the ball game. Alexis, 2nd and 2. Looking towards Gucci Amumbo. Touchdown, 16-point lead. And now time is running since the spread is greater than 15. The championship is just a few seconds away from being awarded to the IG team.
Yeah, so right there again, he ended up motioning late towards his, I believe, I'm not sure who motioned to the left side, but one of the receivers from my team motioned to the left side. I think it was Jordanson. And it kind of, again, it froze Lego My Flag, where it brought Gucci wide open. No one was there. No one was close to him about 5 yards. So great play calling from Jeansley. He kind of took control of the game from, I want to say, starting second half, where he kind of got things rolling, especially from his defense as well, too.
And the other storyline in this game is that the Lego My Flag offense came up completely empty in the first half. Sorry, in the second half. They scored 20 in the first half. I looked at you, Kwesi, at intermission, and I said, neither one of these teams is going to get a stop. It's going to be score for score. And I thought Lego My Flag were going to have the edge because of their superior ability on converts. Instead, that is the game. There are no points from Lego My Flag in the second half. It is a dominating 36-20 win, and the IG team are your Co-Ed 1 champions.
Yeah, great job for my IG team. That adjustment in the second half, I'm pretty sure they were running a 3-1 or a 1-3 or a 3-5, just kind of leveling the same side as Jeff, taking away the underneath, taking away the over top as well, where you have most of the time Jeansley kind of hovering to see exactly what it was coming his way, and it worked perfectly.
So we have the IG team coming all the way back, a 4-6 record in the regular season, underdogs throughout the playoff, a huge semifinal win against the Merge to just make the final, and then the crowning achievement of their season, a dominant second half where they did not concede a single point. What did the IG team change in this playoff run to be so dominant?
So one thing I did realize about the IGT team, during their whole season, they were not a full team. They were always missing a few players, and I think that was one of the key things making this playoff run. Going into their quarterfinal game where they played Fitsco and they won 28-7, then knocking out the defending champions, the Merge, where taking away their 4P that was going to happen. They won that game 38-33, but they were a full team, and today, again, a full team. So I just think that consistent roster, they kind of had things going for the quarters and the semis, and I think they were well prepared coming into this final game.
And the other element not to be understated is the progression of Jean-Zélie Alexis as a quarterback. He's always been extraordinarily talented at quarterback, but if you look at some things he was able to do today, throw of anticipation, take those quick routes, and perhaps his most impressive throw of the game, that no-look pass for the touchdown on the last play of the first half, he was playing with confidence. He was playing with control. This game never looked in doubt.
Yeah, he did a great job. So we're going to bring it down to Nick, where he's going to announce the MVP, which I'm assuming is going to be Jean-Zélie.
Vos champions du FPF Winter 2026 Co-Ed 1 IG Team. Phil Roberts, notre directeur des opérations, va vous donner la banderole officielle du championnat. Ben McMahon, notre commissaire de la Ligue, va vous amener le trophée. Et le moment tant attendu, on va nommer le joueur par excellence ou la joueuse par excellence du match. Avec 5 touchés et aucune interception dans la partie, votre carrière, Jean-Zélie Alexis. Félicitations, Jean-Jean. Jean-Jean, tu peux venir ici. Tu te mérites une bague de champion, une bague de joueur par excellence. Jean-Zélie, parle-nous un peu de cette équipe. Vous aviez commencé cette saison avec 5 défaites. Vous avez réussi à rentrer en play-off avec 4 victoires, 6 défaites. Vous étiez le quatrième seed. Là. On ne s'attendait pas, vous étiez de loin les préférés pour gagner ce championnat. Parle-moi un peu de la résilience de cette équipe et du résultat aujourd'hui.
Je vais être franc avec vous. Lorsqu'on a commencé 0-5, on avait tout l'air désespéré un peu. Puis on se parlait à chaque game qu'on se perdait, qu'est-ce qu'il était faux, on disait yo, next one. On va essayer de gagner les dernières games de la saison pour qu'on puisse rentrer dans le playoff. Puis playoff et saison, tout le monde le sait, c'est 2 saisons complètement différentes. Right? So, on est arrivé en playoff avec une mentalité de dog. On a gagné game après game. Puis aujourd'hui, j'aurais pas eu cette bague-là sans toute la contribution de ma defense, de leur offense, de toutes les filles, de tout le gang en tant que tel. Puis merci beaucoup pour ça, j'apprécie.
Tu as la chance de jouer avec ton frère. Parle-moi un peu de cette collection. Vous avez clairement une collection, cette équipe, mais une collection familiale en plus de ça.
100%, mon twins for life. Mais ça fait longtemps qu'on joue ensemble, effectivement. Puis j'ai l'impression qu'on n'est même pas obligé de se parler sur le field. On sait déjà qu'est-ce qui se passe sur le field. Sur ça, c'est sûr, je vais toujours être grateful pour ça. Puis encore une fois, c'est un team Chemin Street. Right? So, merci beaucoup, puis j'apprécie beaucoup.
Félicitations encore une fois. Félicitations IG Team, champion Co-Ed 1, Flag Plus Football hiver 2026. Messieurs, de retour à vous.
Thank you very much to Nicolas Pierre Massé, our sideline reporter, doing a fantastic job. And we're now going to be signing off. In a few minutes, we will be back with the Division 4B finals. That being said, Lego, My Flag were defeated 20-36 by the IG team, who are your Co-Ed 1 champions. Live coming to you from Brossard, Quebec, I was Alexis Dubois alongside.
Wait,
and sign back in 3 minutes for the Division 4 finals. Thank you.